My name is Lucy Morus Baird, and I have been in the CSS field since 2009 when I began my MTP training. And I graduated in 2011 when I was 31 and began my walk as a minister. And I live in Wales with my family. And I've been working, facilitating sacred space. I now work as a therapist. And I also work as a mentor now on the MTP program, which is part of one of the offerings on the MTP program is to work with a mentor every month. Yeah, so being a minister of walking prayer has been a journey for me, really, and how it shows up for me, it's present in me every day, and in particular in the way that I facilitate. So how I set up my sacred space for others to come into and work and unravel, and it's given me the feeling of what it feels like to be in a safe sacred container and tools to develop that process. So one of the things I learned when I was in the training was how to do that. And I've applied that in my daily life and in my work. And there isn't really a guidebook about how to do that. It's more a feeling in my body and a memory that I have of what it felt like to be in those spaces and to receive those teachings, which I'm really grateful for. I think what's coming through in response to being a minister and walking that path and having studied over 10 years ago, and really the work being so present in my life now, is that it's a real mystery school, CSS is, and in that is a finding our uniqueness as ministers, so there isn't really a cookie cutter shape that fits everybody, that a list of qualifications that you receive, other than finding your own sense of sacred, what that really means to you, and then how you transmit that and hold that for others. And in each of us, it's really, really different. And there's a similar vibration. So embarking on this course will deepen your connection to a sacred process, to sacred work, to having a practice, to being willing to experience that transformative process, which isn't always easy, unearthing what blocks us, what the beliefs that limit us often come up in that process, and also being able to see ourselves as the possibility of what we can become as a sacred human. So one of the offerings of the MTP program, the ministerial training program, is to work with a mentor once a month for an hour. And so I have been working as a mentor with students of the MTP program. And that really is a alchemical process to offer a space to the individual for an hour a month. Each month there's a different module, and different things emerge within the individuals, and that could be deep processes, that could be the rituals they're holding, that could be what's coming up around the assignment. And the assignment is a piece of work that each student gives every month, which could be writing, a recording, a piece of art that reflects the module they're in and where they are in the program. And often in as a mentor, we offer space to support that process also. So it's a really mysterious space, but it also feels really, really important to have that extra container for students, because it's such a deep and transformative process that happens during the 2 years. And what I found as a mentor and a mentee is that actually there's no, it's a non-linear process. So just having another human to work alongside can be really helpful. Thinking about what my journey's been with this work, I could speak to where I began, really, which was a 28-year-old with a lot of curiosity and a real yearning for deeper meaning in my life, and a yearning to be part of a spiritual community, and what that would mean for somebody like me, from a land with a broken lineage, from a land with no elders, from a land without that vibration of ceremony that goes back for a very, very long time. And there was a deep yearning in me to just witness something very different than what I had been brought up with. And I just listened to that and followed my heart, and ended up on this program. And now I'm able to really walk that on my land here, far away from where those teachings come from, and do that with support of the community still, which means a lot. So there's many reasons to study this course. There is a community of people willing to show up in a particular way, in a devoted way, willing to learn from each other and from our elders, and really listen deeply to that process, and be willing to be on this road of transformation together. And that means a lot as humans, where we can feel really isolated sometimes from particularly well, from my own personal story, feeling like I live in a culture where there isn't much access to ceremony and spirituality and that kind of thing. It can be quite lonely. And just being able to access knowledge that comes from unbroken lineages, from traditions that go back really, really, really far, to a time where there was this original recipe, and that recipe hasn't been changed. And the vibration of that, when you're near it, feels so special, and such an honor to receive teachings like that. What's coming up in response to that question, what's the most important thing to be paying attention to, is that membrane that exists between the inner and outer. So, you know, the way out is in, and in here is our heart and our nervous system and all of our body, and being in reverence and devotion of who we are, and being fully connected to that, will really give space for us to be able to do it, and be fully connected to all our relations. It begins here. So, I know that's a really cliche thing to say, but I truly believe that in my own life. It's been the one way I've been able to feel safe enough to connect, is to really be compassionate with myself, and love myself, and feel my heart, and feel everything that goes on in me, and bring that to the spaces I sit in, and say, here I am. So if you're considering doing this training, then, and there's something in your heart that is has been hooked in some way, then what I would say is really listen to your body and your heart. Don't try and think your way through it. It's a totally non-linear process. It's a mystery school. And just know that by saying yes to something like that, then there's a meeting of that from somewhere else, and you won't regret it.